What's up, everybody? I'm Peanut Tillman, and this is the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. And with me, as always, my trusty co-host, Mr. Roman, I talk too much, Harper.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm not going to talk at all then. But I'm really excited about our next guest because this is my first time ever meeting him. And the stats speak for himself. Just introduce and let's jump into it.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, NFL Top 100, and he's the only Hall of Famer to ever serve in Congress.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steve Largent to the show.
Steve Largent.
Thank you.
Welcome to the pod. Mr. World Traveler.
Yes.
We figured that.
Actually, opposite.
Yeah, he's DC, Seattle.
No, Tulsa.
I'm sorry.
He's from
Oklahoma City.
Yep,
Tulsa.
Seattle.
No, Houston.
Yeah, because when you get drafted.
Okay, yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah,
I spent in Houston.
Seattle.
Weeks.
Then
We can't even count.
back to Tulsa, Washington, Tulsa.
Yeah.
There it is.
right.
All right, that's about
You got
it. We lamed this
Anything
whole-
else you need to know?
And that's our show, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Steve, man, tell me, first of all, what does it mean to you to be named to the NFL's All 100 team?
I just think I pinch myself all the time.
Does it shock you? How does it come across to you? Like, how does that land for you?
It does. I pinch myself all the time to make sure that's really real. And that's what happened when I was named to the Hall of Fame. You know, I thought, wow, I can't believe that. I'm actually among all these great football players that I've watched all my life, and I'm now in the same league with them. And so it was really special, and my whole life I feel like has been a dream.
Now you say that, but I'm looking at you like, dude, you got to be kidding. I mean, you retired. You were the number one. You had all the stats when you retired. So it couldn't have been too much of a shock. Or you still just like, you just don't expect it because the way you came into the NFL. You know, is it because of that? Because the way you got in and how Houston, you drafted in the 4th round to Houston, but then they don't want you. They trade you for an 8th round pick to Seattle. Sorry if I'm telling your whole story.
I bet you they're rethinking that right about now.
Yeah.
You know, all of these things happen. Does that kind of what makes you, even after you retire, being the all-time leader in all the stats and receivers, you still just like shocked when you go to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I think. Well, I hope that it's because I've learned a lesson about humility and having humility, and I think that I think my wife is a big contributor to that as well. We've known each other since we've been in high school, and so I think that that's the way I try to raise my kids is help them understand the value of humility. And I hope that I've displayed that for them, and I didn't even have to talk to them about it because I've been living it in front of them. Mm-hmm. But I just think that's an important quality in life.
So you talk about humility, great quality, we need it. I want to talk about payback.
I know what you're talking about too.
Yeah. So I don't know what week it was, but I'm gonna show you a picture right now, and I want you to kind of tell me what you think. So for those for our listeners, it's a picture of Steve, and he is giving Mike Harden the business. I wouldn't even call this a cheap shot. He had cheap shot you earlier in the season. He had forced a fumble.
That's what brings context into this story.
Oh yeah,
is what he did to me when we played them in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
He hit me with a cheap shot. He was penalized for it in the game. Was fined after the game $5,000, and so a total cheap shot, and took me out of the game. I didn't know where I was after he hit me, and he hit me in the head. Broke my face mask. I kept that face mask, by the way. Broke my face mask, and I was out of the game. And he was giving high fives to guys. And,
oh, wow.
And all that kind of stuff. So then fast forward to we play Denver home and home because they're in our division.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks are still in the AFC West. And that's when I got him back in the Kingdom. And people said, well, did you know it was Mike Harden? Absolutely. I knew from the minute he touched the ball who had it. And I went after him with everything I had and hit him legally with my shoulder. I didn't, do any kind of penalty inducing plays, but I got him back good. And that was the best tackle and best play I've ever made in the NFL.
Out of all the touchdowns?
After all the touchdowns, all the catches, that's the one that gave me more satisfaction than any other play was this payback play.
You should have just came over to the defensive side and played safety or corner. If you like the hitting that much like this, we love it.
I also heard you say something in that. You said in the NFL. What was your favorite play of all time?
Well, that would be my favorite.
One.
That would minus that one,
like offensively.
Or maybe it was something in high school, or college. Like we always have like these plays that like really stand out, and everybody
I don't
has
think I've ever thought about that.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm sure you had some great plays, and if you're like, no, that was my favorite play in the NFL. So you said NFL, so I didn't know if that was all time as well.
Well, that play that we talked about earlier with Mike Harden was my favorite play of my career. But I had a lot of great catches and where I was even surprised that I held onto the ball or caught it or whatever, scored a touchdown into the end zone, tapped my feet on the back of the end zone, that kind of thing. But I think the season that really gave me the most satisfaction was our very first year we ever made the playoffs. That was in 1983, and we made it as a wild card team. We won the wild card game. We went down and played Miami in the divisional playoffs, and we beat them. And so that whole season, 83, when we first made the playoffs and got to feel what that was like, got all the way to the AFC Championship game, which we lost, but nonetheless, we really had a great season. I think we were finished 9-7 or something like that, but then went into the playoffs as a wild card team, and that run was just seared in my mind as being one of my favorite years played in the NFL.
Well, you talked about toe tapping, and your 100th receiving touchdown was a toe tap. And so I don't know if they called it that back then, but it totally was. But I want to know about you have 101.
Yeah, that was my 100 touchdown was actually against the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati.
Yes.
And I remember that play very well. And, it was kind of weird because, I knew I had 99 touchdowns and I thought, I can't quit on 99. I got to get 100 somehow. And so I convinced Dave Craig to throw me the ball, but he did, and we scored, and it was very memorable. But it was my like I said, my whole career was like a dream come true in my life, and I never took it for granted. I always felt like I had to work hard and play well, and so that's how it developed.
Do you keep the footballs? Do you have them?
No,
you don't.
I didn't. I wish I would.
Did you throw it up in the stands?
No, I didn't throw it in the stands. We were in Cincinnati. I know I'm going to throw it in the stands, but no, I didn't, and so that's the way
you have. Can you recall your only non-receiving touchdown?
I had one,
exactly.
I think I got the ball in a reverse and ran it in the end zone. It was like on the 6-yard line or something. I vaguely remember the play, and the only reason I remember it is because I was just looking at some pictures from that play just a couple of weeks ago. But I think that's what it was.
I'm gonna help you out here. It was 10 yards.
10 yards.
It was 10 yards.
I knew it was close.
Yeah, you were close.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a toss, but it was like a reverse. They reacted like you came back, like you caught it off of that.
I was in the slot.
Yes. It was like a reverse toss. It was a great call. You're there.
Yeah.
So just as the story comes back to you, more people are going to ask you this. So I just want to help you out.
At some point, we were all humbled in this league. I know I was my rookie year by veterans on my team. What was your welcome to the NFL moment for you?
Oh, well, I think it was actually it was a stark arrival as a Houston Oiler.
Okay.
And I played 6 weeks. I was in Houston for 6 weeks. That's all they gave me. I was a 4th-round draft pick. I was the 2nd draft pick that they had. They had a 2nd-round draft choice, who was Mike Barber, tight end for Oilers for a long time. And then I was the 2nd pick that they had. And so I thought, I'm going to make this team. And, man, I went down there and I was competing, but I wasn't producing. And they ended up, Bum Phillips was in his 2nd year with the Oilers, and he called me in his office and, Steve, we appreciate your effort, but we got a lot of good receivers here, and they did. And they said, we're going to let you go. And I thought, I was the 2nd pick. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. And so it was like a slap in the face. And so I got in my little car and then I drove down to Houston from Tulsa, and I got my car and drove back home, and my wife met me, and I just thought, God, I don't know what happened. I can't explain it. And about that time, I got a call from Seattle. Actually, they called my wife before I got to Tulsa, and they said, we'd like to give you another chance if you want it. And the thing is that the offensive coordinator at the University of Tulsa that I played for 3 years that he was there was Jerry Rome. And Jerry was an NFL player and quarterback from Tulsa. And he had left the University of Tulsa and gone to Seattle to be a coach for the first year of the franchise. And he had told the head coach, man, we need to draft Largent. And they never did. And so then when I came up on the waiver wire, he saw the waiver wire, and they said, and Jerry went to the head coach, and he said, we really need to get this guy. And so they gave up an 8th-round draft choice. They had 8 rounds. They had more than 8 rounds, 12 rounds or 14 rounds then. And so they gave up an 8th-round draft choice for me, and I went to Seattle. And the thing about that was that a lot of people don't understand is that Jerry Rome he wasn't the offensive coordinator, but he was like the offensive coordinator. And in Seattle, the entire passing game was the same passing game that I had played for 3 years in college.
Right.
They were all the same. 79 was the same route that I ran in college. So to come into to Seattle and to know everything the plays were
as a rookie,
like, and everybody else is still trying to learn what Jerry's talking about when he talks about, run 76. And
I was meant to be.
So that was a real advantage for me. And Jerry was just such a pivotal turning point in my life and in my playing career for sure. I owe him a lot.
I want to know, what was it like to be on the top of the mountain of greatness? So when you retired, most receptions, you got 819, most receiving yards, 13,000, most touchdowns, 100, most consecutive games with the catch, most seasons with at least 50 catches, most seasons with at least 1,000 yards. Like, what was that like? You was him. You was the man.
Well, what's interesting about those statistics is that I never looked at statistics my entire career. In fact, I don't think I even saw those statistics until 2 or 3 years after I retired and started looking at Canton. And I thought, well, I'm going to look at what my statistics were.
I think I got a chance.
Yeah, I think I've got a chance.
Yeah,
because. It's amazing, and it was amazing to me when I saw the statistics. So
it's funny that you say you think you have a chance, though, but you were a first ballot guy.
Well, it's also funny that you know, I know you're humble, and you talked about humility, a couple of times already, but like you may be the first receiver I've ever met that was like, yeah, I don't really look at my own stats. It's just so opposite of every receiver that I've known since I've been around playing football.
You don't strike me as a diva, though. You don't strike me as just like a diva receiver, right? Like
it's like
there's 100. Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know. Most.
I only won 177 games straight with a catch. Probably didn't complain a lot, or did you complain?
Yeah.
Like,
no.
You didn't come across.
No. You seem like you just go with the flow.
Yes,
like,
it's
oh,
like, nah,
okay,
just,
cool. Like, all
just
right,
kind of open. You know,
yeah, I'm open. Throw it to me. All right, cool. Not
I
give me
tried
the
to-
damn ball. You don't seem like that. Give me the damn ball right now. Like, come on. Like, no, that.
No, I didn't say that, but
what did you say?
I was a team guy.
Yeah.
All the way, and I loved playing in Seattle. There was a new franchise when I went there, and I got to see it develop into a playoff team for several years after I was through, and so that was really fun too. But it was. It was like I said, it was a dream come true for me.
All right, I know you're humble. All right, but I want you to put that on the back burner for this one answer, okay? How validated did you feel about your career and being on top of the mountain after the way you came into the league? You know, being at Houston for 6 weeks after being their second pick, fourth round, and like, how validated did you feel? Like, all right, put the humility on the back burner, then we'll give it back to you after that answer.
Well, it wasn't a validation, but it was like, wow, I can't believe that. Look at these statistics, Terry. I mean, I tell my wife, look at these statistics. Nobody's ever done this before. And I was able to do that. Isn't that amazing? And we would just laugh about it, you know? So I think there was a real advantage of not being aware of what the statistics were. And I wasn't, like I said, but I think it also, I hope that it also kept me as a humble person and a better team player and a guy that was more concerned with winning the game than how many catches you had.
You being who you are, did you ever like compare yourself to other receivers? Because you passed Lance Allworth when you passed all the stats, but how do you continue to work on your game? Like, who were you comparing? Did you do any of that, or did you just?
No, I didn't. That's what I'm telling you. I didn't look at the statistics. I didn't look at who'd gone before me and what their statistics, how many passes they caught or touchdowns they had or anything. I didn't know because I didn't bother to look at it. Maybe I should have, but I think I was looking more at what's happening on the field today and what we want to do tomorrow, as opposed to what guys had done before me and how I stack up against them.
Did you model your game after a safety? Who was which guy was your person?
Yeah, I tried to. Like, I'd always try and like see things like, ooh, I would love to be able to do that. I don't think I could, but in my mind, I always thought I was trying to, emulate or try and get a little bit of, a little, like, I wish I could have had some like just instincts of a Troy Polamalu, which like I don't think he was supposed to jump over the offensive line right there and do that. But like had to have the audacity to do those things is something that I like, ooh, I wish I could be that free. But like I'm like, oh, but what if I get caught and then like my whole half of the field is just wide open. So I didn't do that. Yeah, I wish I could have though.
So I wore 33. I crazy story how I picked that number. You wore like 41, which is heavy as hell.
No, the one is very slimming actually.
The 41 is
the one is slimming.
Yeah, it
works.
It works for you, but it looks heavy. It looks very heavy. We all pick our numbers for whatever reason. Why did you pick the number 80?
I didn't pick it. They gave it to me.
Oh,
yeah. When I got to Seattle,
number.
Yeah,
it is a great number.
I got to Seattle, and somebody else that they had cut had worn it before me, and they said, "Hey, you're 80." I said, I didn't care what number I was.
I feel like you didn't get any choices at all in your career. It was just like, look, you're going to Seattle. This is your coach. You're wearing 80. You're not asking for the ball. Like, just take it or leave it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was glad to be there. Glad to have a number.
So what was it like? So what went into the decision? Because most people forget that Jerry Rice actually played at Seattle. And what went into the decision of you unretiring your jersey because the number 80 was retired at the time? You're like, you know what? Jerry Rice can wear number 80.
Yeah. Well, it was I'm not exactly sure that they called me before they gave him my jersey.
Okay.
But if they did, I think I was sort of in an awkward position Because I thought, well, they retired my jersey.
Yeah.
Well, then they unretired my jersey. How many times does they go back and forth and do that? I mean, so, I don't know. I think that I tried to be humble about that and say
it's okay not to be humble.
I'm trying to put this thing on the back burner here. I'm trying to get
I mean, if Jerry wants to wear my jersey,
it's okay not to.
That's great. Okay.
It's
okay. Okay. So I'm glad we got that out.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good. Okay. We're opening up here a little bit.
After 50 years, you can be more humble.
I want to talk about a second act. So you won 4 terms in office.
Mm-hmm.
You served on the House of Representatives from 94 to 2002, the first congressional district. What do you think it means when you hear you're the only Hall of Famer to serve in Congress?
Well, I think that there's a lot of smart players that never ran for Congress. No, really. I didn't know that. Jack Kemp was a guy that I really modeled my career beyond football after. He was Jeff Kemp's father and a great quarterback at Buffalo. And he was in Congress for a number of years. And so I was kind of second after Jack Kemp being in Congress. But he really set an example for me. In fact, I talked to him before I ran for Congress and just got some advice from him. And I didn't really think about, how many guys had been in Congress or not. But, I was really, I felt like that I had a message and I delivered it well to the constituents and they were sold. And so they reelected me 3 times after I was elected the first time, and it was a good marriage. And actually, my time in Congress, I loved it. It was a funny thing happened in 1994 when I ran for Congress, and that was that the House flipped. It had always been, for 40 years or so, it had been Democrat-controlled Congress, and in 1994 it flipped. So I got to serve in the majority. I was a Republican, and I could serve in the majority for almost 8 years, and it was an unbelievable experience, really. And what you find out is that when you're in the minority, you don't get to do very much,
right?
Because you're not. You just aren't in control. Mm-hmm. And so the majority party's in control in Congress, in the House for sure. It's a little bit less so in the Senate, but so it was really a unique experience to be in Congress and be a Republican and be in majority for the first time for 40 or 50 years, and it was really special, and I loved it. I loved working there. And feel like I'm doing something for my constituents and for the country, and trying to and be a voice for people who, for a long time, didn't feel like that they were heard. Mm-hmm. And so it was one of the great experiences of my life, and I loved it. But I'd never go back.
So I got
why? No. Why? You don't get to just leave off with that. That was a great cliffhanger. We're going to save you off the cliff.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you why it is because every week that Congress was in session, and they were in session for 90% of the time, I'm living in Tulsa and flying to DC, and then getting on a plane and flying from DC back to Tulsa every week. So I left on Monday or Tuesday, and I came home on Friday, and that was just hard to fly that much and to be so and where am I living? And I'm trying to raise 4 kids and get them into college, and so it was just hard. It was hard on my wife. It was harder on my wife probably than on me, but it was hard on me too. Just all that travel every week. It was. I felt like I kind of made my point and I can go home.
Yeah.
And I actually went home and ran for Congress. I ran for governor. And got beat by a few thousand votes, and that was very disappointing too. But at that point, I was through with my political career. I'd finished my football career, and I'd finished my political career.
Was there ever an moment when you were in Congress? Like, you were a rookie, I asked you the question of welcome to the NFL. What was your welcome to Congress moment, if there was one?
Good. I like that.
Like, I'm in Congress. I just I dropped the ball on that bill. Yeah. Oh my God. I totally messed that up.
Yeah.
Oops. Rookie mistake.
I tell you, what I often thought about was the beauty of the people that I chose to work for me in my office. So in Congress, you typically have two offices. You'll have your Washington, D.C. office, and you'll have your district office. And so your district office takes care of all of the complaints or whatever people have about Congress or the bills they want to see passed or not passed or whatever. And so they deal with them, or I'll talk with them after they've dealt with them. And then you've got your DC people who really are looking at the bills that are going to be proposed and how we want to vote on those, and do we want to offer amendments and stuff like that. And so I really had a great team of people that worked for me, both in my office in Washington, D.C., and in my office in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, in the 1st Congressional District. And so they really carried a lot of the load for me. And that was one of the things that I really feel like that I did well, was choosing people to work for me.
How special was the month of January 1995? You were sworn into Congress, and January the 4th, you were selected to the NFL Hall of Fame on January the 28th, and you were also sworn in on your 20th wedding anniversary on January the 20th, or January the 20th. Oh no,
5th.
January 5th.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I remember my wedding.
There we go. Dude, you got to get. I still messed that up, bro. I'm trying to get better myself. So, yes, I'm glad you corrected me. How special is all that in the same month? How are you handling all these emotions and just trying to get it right?
You know what? I feel like I was walking on water, because it was, every experience was unique, but every experience was like awesome. I mean, just really awesome. To be married to my wife for 20 years. Now it's 50 years.
Congrats.
And we still love each other more than we ever have before. And our 4 kids are doing well. I've got 10 grandkids.
Awesome.
We just had all 10 of them at our house. We took them on a vacation with us, just the 10 kids and my wife. We rented a big van to carry them all with.
What are the ages?
We've got a second year in college down to a 7-year-old.
Okay.
So we got 6 boys and we have 6 girls and 4 boys.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
They're very
How much more? Why do grandparents love the grandkids so
more than
much
they
more?
love
Man,
It's because I tell you I know exactly why that is.
Explain this in great detail. Please explain this in great detail.
No grandparent denies it either. They're like, oh yeah.
Love my grandkids way more than my kids.
Let me tell you why grandparents love grandkids, because they can say, you guys, your parents are here to pick you up. They're going home.
That's what my pops always said.
Something about
when you done, you can say, hey, take your kids, get the hell out. Bye. It's time to leave. I love that. I got one more political question for you. Why the House of Representatives?
That is a good question.
And not the Senate.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I've never been asked that question before. But we actually had 2 senators that were fairly long-term senators. They weren't leaving, and they weren't challenged that particular year. But we had a member of Congress who the man that held my seat in the 1st Congressional District ran for the Senate. He ran for the Senate, and so I ran for his seat, and was fortunate enough to win. But it was I don't think I knew that much about Congress. That's why I ran for the House. I didn't know really that much about government. I wasn't a political science major. I was a biology major. So I didn't know that much about it, but I learned quickly. And it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life.
Were you like one of the cool kids in Congress because you just got elected to the NFL Hall of Fame as well? Did that like make you more popular? Like, dude, like Steve Largent, he's on our committee, you know? Like, did you get better assignments?
The general lady is out of order. The gentleman is out of order.
Like, Steve Largent, bro, he's like, always in order. Like, did that ever happen? Like, how did that hit home?
Well, I think most of the people that I served in Congress with, in the Senate or in the House, they were aware of my political career. I mean, they were not of my political career. They were aware of my football career. They knew about that. But being elected into the Hall of Fame was pretty cool after just getting elected to Congress.
Did you get like a day of standing ovation? They should have gave you at least a standing ovation when we were coming to. Okay, good.
They
okay,
did, yeah.
good. Okay, good. That was. I mean, everybody should stand up and celebrate that. That's good stuff right there.
So we had Stephen Allred, Colin, excuse me. He served. He took a seat for Texas, and there's this skit. Two sketch comedy artists, comedians, Key and Peele, and they do this scene where they act like Obama, and Obama he shakes the hand. He's like, with the white person, like, hey, how you going? How's it going? How's it going? How you doing? And then he sees a black guy, brother, and he's like, hey, my man, what's going on? And he brings it up high. Was there ever anything like that in Congress with shaking a white guy's hand versus shaking a black guy's hand?
No.
That was never like, oh, we go in and they go for the hug. Was there ever anything like that? Because we've started to see a little bit of a trend like that with certain politicians. Would you agree with that?
It's happened before.
It's happened before. So
I can tell you that in my experience, that if I'm shaking a guy's hand that I played football with, against, or with either one, it's always like this.
Yeah.
It's always like this. And it doesn't matter what color he is.
Right.
Exactly. It's like this. But when I'm shaking the Speaker of the House's hand, is like this. And I don't know why that is. But
you never tried to go in high like that? The high angle of attack?
He's not going to get it.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't want to confuse him.
Okay,
but that's a good question.
Okay, this is why we ask.
This is why we ask. Yeah, I love these political questions. We asked another guy that he was like, I don't know. The guy goes like this, I go like that. When he goes up like this, I go up like that. He sets the tone, so it's the high angle of attack. I love that.
So, Steve, we call this the second acts podcast because we love to know about your second act. That's why we're so asking you all these not really political questions, but just more about your time in Congress. What did you do in that 5-year window of retirement and then all of a sudden running for Congress? Because you had a little window in there. What did you do?
So I let's see, it was 1994. I retired in 89. That was my last season. So really 1990. And then I ran for Congress in 1994. And so I was speaking, going around talking about, my football career, talking about my faith, and just talking about, what I thought was good for the country.
Yeah.
And then, so I had done that for 4 or 5 years, and we had moved back to Tulsa because I lived in Seattle, obviously, during the season, and then we moved back to Tulsa permanently, and that's when I ran for Congress. But before that, I was just going around the country, doing autograph shows and speaking engagements and stuff like that.
Did you ever have like a down struggle time?
Did you ever have a what?
Like a struggle period, or like this time of like, it's just, we have these times where guys struggle in between retirement and actually like
the transition.
The transition. That's the word I'm looking for.
No
what was that like for you? Like, I mean, you're Steve Largent.
Yeah, I would. I'm laughing as I say this, because I think that a lot of guys go through the struggle like you did. I didn't struggle at all. I finished my career, and I was busy, and I still worked out and trying to take care of my body and stay in shape. Not like I felt like I was going to play again, because I chose to retire. I didn't have to retire, which is unique for football players. But I was going and blowing. I learned how to fly. I got my pilot's license, and nice. I don't fly now because I don't trust myself. But I flew my own plane that I had, and I flew for probably 10 years before I ran for Congress, and so it was. I had a blast. I loved it, and so I never was worried about it. But yeah, the choice to go from that life and move into a political career was a big step for me. But I think it was still positive, still good. I think the Lord blessed it, and so it was all good.
So we not gonna go. I've been trying to get him to go to
back to school.
Back to school.
Not happening.
That ain't gonna work.
Not happening.
What if we ran for Congress? No,
dude. I kind of just like my life. Like right now,
I know.
You know, when the temperature gets down, I want them to just lower the temperature a little bit. You feel me, Steve?
Yeah.
I need to lower the temperature. Like go back to 90s temperature. 90s temperature doesn't seem anywhere close to as warm in the room as it is now.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I could go across the aisle and dap up everybody in the 90s. Like it was cool. Like we were actually just,
But we could change that though.
I don't know, man.
We could change like our personalities, our sense of humor.
That means one of us
we can start dapping people up like this.
It may be
with the
one
high
of us,
angle of attack.
Both of us ran
HOA.
on another side, and then we could both win, and then we could be like bridge the gap.
We got to flip a coin around.
You see what I'm saying? Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Like, we got to run on opposite sides. He
could be our mentor.
Dude, Steve left 20 years ago, dude. Like some of these people are gonna be like, dude, who's Steve?
This
Largent?
is wisdom at its finest. This is wisdom, and I see Thomas over there making the face like, I don't know, guys. I don't know about this one. Oh my God! So I want to talk to you about your time as the president and CEO for the wireless communications company.
CTIA.
How was that?
Man, that was one of the most awesome jobs you can imagine.
The cell phone minutes all the time.
The cell phone industry was just going and blowing. It still is.
What year was that?
That was in it was right after I lost the race for governor.
Okay.
So that would have been 95, 96.
So they were still doing like nights and weekends, and you had to like actually work your minutes, and when you were paying for like legit minutes, and hey, call me after 5.
We're text messages wasn't even a thing yet in 95, was it?
Well, I think text messages were, but they weren't big at all.
Yeah, because they cost more than the phone call.
Yeah. So it was an industry that was going like this.
Yeah.
And so and the thing that I loved about it most was the CEOs of the various companies that we had, and we had all the the AT&Ts and Verizons. All those guys were in the association, but also all the handset manufacturers were in our association too. So it was really an important job to get it right. And so I would say those companies got it right 99% of the time. Sometimes they screwed up, but they got it right most of the time. And we wanted to display that before the people and for the members of Congress who wanted to try to legislate it, because they're always trying to legislate. So, and I thought that it was one of the most fun, educational, engaging jobs that a guy could have. I loved my work at CTIA. I had a team of people, 100 people that worked for me in Washington, D.C., and we just did. I think we did a bang up job for the industry, and it's continued on.
No, just listening to you right there, I just want to let you know you are a true professional, Steve Largent. All right, instead of trying to say, because to me words matter, Peanut. I say that all the time. Words matter, and instead of trying to say control, regulate, you said legislate.
Yeah.
They're always trying to legislate. Like that's important. What have you learned between the difference as far as wording of control versus legislate?
Well, I mean, I was a Republican.
Yeah.
And I was just one of those guys that didn't believe that you had to regulate everything.
Yeah.
And that you didn't need to regulate everything.
Correct.
And so my caution that I felt like I brought to Congress, and I was one of many who brought to Congress the idea that, hey, let's think about this before we regulate it.
Yeah.
Before we try to control it. We don't need to control anything else. We don't need to regulate anything else unless we absolutely have to. And so that was my message to Congress when I was the president of the CTIA, the Wireless Association, was let's think about this before we just jump into this deal and regulate the industry. And so that was always the cautionary flag that I was trying to wave before Congress when I was there.
Yeah, I'm going to take that back home with me. I'm going to try and legislate my kids.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to regulate as much.
There
you
go.
I mean, it's just like, just getting you down the road.
Yeah.
We got barriers.
Make a broad road.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Legislate.
Yeah.
We're not going to regulate.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
There you go.
I got it. It's words, man.
I know,
It's all
but
good.
when you talk with your words, your hand be in my face.
I'm legislating.
I'm
It's
about to
bigger.
regulate them
It's
hands
wider.
off me. You finna
It's
get
wider.
You about to get
It's wider
regulated.
lanes. It's wider
God, dog,
lanes.
stop regulating me, please.
At least.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, I got something that he ain't got. So you and I, we have something in common. 1988, you won the Walter, or I don't think it was called the Walter Payton Man of the Year, but you won the NFL Man of the Year award. Where does that award sit with all of your football accolades?
Oh, I think it's pretty cool just because I think the people that vote on that are players.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's pretty cool that you could win an award from the players, not necessarily from the coaches or from the press or anybody like that. And I think that says something about, your playing career and your demeanor that you take on the field.
Right. I want to know about the idea of service to you and what it means to you. You've served a lot. You served in Congress. You served as a leader of the wireless situation. You served your community to be able to win Man of the Year. And I was also told, like, the best leaders, sometimes you got to learn how to serve before you lead. And so maybe it's a reflection on how great of a leader you are. But what does service mean to you?
Well, I mean, to me, I would always drop it back to my faith in the Lord. And I think the idea of being a Christian is about serving, serving your family, serving your friends, serving people in general. And so it wasn't a real leap for me to serve in Congress because it's sort of an example of how you're trying to lead your life.
Makes sense.
I want to read something to you real quick. Something you said.
Uh-oh.
This is a good one. This ain't one of those. I'm not saying you are for nothing bad. This is a good one.
I don't trust him.
I was a biology major at the University of Tulsa. Had a 3.2 grade point average. And that is probably one of the crowning achievements of my life. It's not sports. It's not being in the Hall of Fame. And it's not all the other stuff. It's getting my degree in 4 years. Why do you feel that way?
I'm still proud of that. It's been, I don't know, maybe 40 years or whatever since I graduated from the University of Tulsa. But to have a biology degree, that means you didn't, nobody allowed you to just escape college with, anything that you shouldn't have had.
There we go. Don't call them out. Somebody's got one.
Right. Yeah. So, but to do that and to do it in 4 years' time and have a 3.2 grade point average, which is pretty good for a football player, and I just was really, really proud. Still am really proud of what I've done. And I try to encourage other players. If you didn't get your college degree when you were in college, get it now. In the off season, you can go to college.
Yeah.
And so it was, it was something that I was really very proud of. Still am very proud of graduating from the University of Tulsa, and think that it's a real accomplishment.
Yeah. See, get your degree in the off season. Rome, we can go back. Let's get it.
Dude, I did that. I went and got my degree.
Higher
in the
degree,
off-season.
higher degree,
Yeah,
higher education, higher learning.
words matter. And
Higher learning.
No.
All right. I need you not to be humble right now, because I'm going to ask you a question. Do not be humble.
Okay.
Good luck.
You have to
This is not going to work.
pick people. You only get 4 picks of people that have helped you become the man you are today. And if it's your Mount Rushmore of success, who would those 4 people be?
The first would be my grandfather, my mom's dad.
Okay.
Stan Sorensen was his name. And he was the guy, I lived with my grandparents for a year while my mom and stepfather and 3 brothers moved around the country with my stepfather's job as a mechanic on airplanes. And so I lived, they wanted to put me in one place because I was already getting into high school. And I lived with my grandparents. And so I got to learn from my grandparents and particularly my grandfather. And I can remember times that he would always come to my football games and baseball games and take me hunting and fishing. And I just loved that. I loved spending time with him. And he really taught me a lot about what it was to be a man and to be a giver as opposed to a taker. And so I think that he would be number 1 on my list of top 5. Other guys, I would say, Jerry Rome would be another guy that I would put in that because of his coaching ability and what he saw in me that I didn't even see in me in college for 3 years. And then the fact that he went out on the limb to try to get me drafted by the Seahawks and not the Oilers, but then picked me out of the list of cut players and brought me to Seattle, and then plugged me in as a receiver, running the same offense I'd run for 3 years in college. So Jerry would be another guy on my list. I'm trying to think. Another guy that I think is a real he's a great friend and a great brother is Jim Zorn, my quarterback. At Seattle. He was a guy that he kind of came out of college same way I did. I don't think he wasn't even drafted. He was a free agent, and he was a free agent with Dallas. And then Seattle picked him up when they became a franchise, and he became the starting quarterback for the Seahawks, and just really had to fight and scrap, and then became the quarterback, and was kind of I think he's kind of a legend just because he was a quarterback for so many years on Seattle, and a team that we didn't win a lot of games the first 6 or 7 years we played. But Jim was always a leader and always a guy that knew what he was doing and where you should be and where he's going to throw the ball. And so I think I would pick Jim as one of my guys that's a leader both on the field and off the field. I think other guys that kind of I'm trying to think of the guy's name. He was a representative here in Ohio, and then he ran for governor and became governor of Ohio. I can't think of his name now. Anyway, he was really a good leader too, and was a leader in Congress. And I really tried to implement what he did in my life in Congress as well. But anyway, I don't know if I can think of. There'll be some others that'll pop up, and I'll talk to you about them.
No worries.
Yeah.
I just Googled just to try and see if it may pop up.
John
Kasich.
Kasich.
Yeah, from
That's what I was
1983
talking about,
to
John
2001.
Kasich, right. Very good.
John
That's
Kasich.
quick.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's Chat GPT. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, John Kasich was that guy. he kind of took me under his shoulder, under his arm, and pointed me in the right direction, and was really just a great friend and a good guy. And like I said, he later became governor of Ohio for 2 terms, I think, but just an all-around good guy.
You're off the hot seat, Steve. We appreciate you coming in, man. Just blessing us with some wisdom and your humility, and just man. Thank you. We appreciate you,
Steve. Man, this has been awesome. Number one, blessing us. You're your first Congress Hall of Fame congressman
first Congress
we've ever
Hall of
had. Also, shout out the first Pro Bowler for the Seattle Seahawks. That you also accomplished that in your career. So the list continues to go on and
first
on.
Hall of Famer from Seattle.
First Hall of Famer for Seattle. There we go. Thank you for finally dropping that humility. There we go. We've been waiting for it all conversation. Thank you.
He's probably the first biologist. Can we say first biologist major? Yeah,
there we go.
Like, hey,
it's a lot of firsts going on today. And look, man,
this was
as
fun.
much as you've accomplished to keep your steady smile, your spirit. You look awesome.
Well,
you can still tell you take great care of yourself.
Yeah.
I don't see a whole bunch of scars on your knees.
I got some scars.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. They just blend in really well. You got a good tan.
Man, you're blending very nice. You're looking good, man. It's hashtag goals. And so I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
You did not disappoint. You lived up to everything that we had heard about you, and you are exactly the great human being and man that I hoped to be when I met you. So shout out to Joe Vitt, who said all the great things about you, and he was not lying. So we appreciate it, man. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you, guys.
No doubt, man. All of our viewers and listeners out there, wherever you pick up your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app, make sure you give us a like, subscribe, follow, leave a couple comments. We'll put Jay and everybody to work on responding to them. So appreciate it. And make sure you check
our
us out.
YouTube channel.
I was going there.
You too slow. You was too
appreciate
slow.
it, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Check out our YouTube channel. I'm Peanut. That's Rome. That's Steve. And this is the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. And we are out.